Every other system of equations that we've solved up to this point involved two, I'm just making these up. We always had two equations. Your goal here is to make two equations, okay? We're just going to use x and y for everything. You can change the variables if you want, but we're going to use x and y for simplicity. So the sum of two numbers is 752. If you're converting words into math, what does the word sum mean? What is the word sum? How do you get the total? Sorry? Adding. Sum means adding. Okay? Of two numbers is 752. If you see the word is, that means equals. Okay? So that part of the sentence, this part of the sentence, is our first equation. Okay? So we have to define the two numbers. So the first thing you do is we're just going to say x is equal to one number. It's a little weird when you're doing this with just two numbers, but I'm going to say y is the other number. So what does the first part of the sentence translate to mathematically? If I say the sum of two numbers is 752, what does that mean you're doing to the two numbers? You're adding them. So it means x plus y is equal to 752. Right? That's what this part of the sentence means. The sum of the two numbers are x and y, is 752. So x plus y equals 752. Okay. Their difference, if I say the word difference, what are we talking about? Which is what sort of mathematical operation? Subtraction. This is subtraction. Okay. Their difference is 174. So what do I write for that? X minus y equals 174 because is means equals. So then we get x minus y is equal to 174. Okay. Now you're done with the word part. Now you just solve the equations that you generated. The whole point is to take the words, generate two equations. Now we solve them. How do you want to solve these? You can do any method you wish. There's one really quick, easy way. Sure. I would just add them together because look how they're lined up. The x's line up, the y's line up, numbers line up, and the y's, one's positive, one's negative. So if you add these together, x plus x is 2x. What happens to the y's? Go away. 752 plus 174. 926. Okay, how do I get x? Divided by 2. So x is equal to 463. That's one of the numbers. Okay? How are you going to get the other number? Put it into one of these equations. Does it matter which one? No, it does not matter. So I'll just put it into the x plus y. I don't know, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to take this one. X is 463 plus y has to equal 752. So y is equal to 752 minus 463, which is 289. So your two numbers are 463 and 289. No, those are the only two numbers. Those are the only numbers given the parameters that we have. Okay? So your whole goal is to make two equations. All right? If you see the word sum, that means adding. If you see the word difference, that means subtracting. And if you see equals, that means, or sorry, if you see is, that means equals. Okay? All right. Now we're going to up the level. Copy this question down, please. Okay. The sum of 5 times one number plus 3 times the second number is 8. Okay, just stop there. Every sentence is essentially an equation. So this first sentence is your first equation. Let's go through it. Sum. What does sum mean? It means you're adding. 5 times. 5 times something. Literally 5 times something. Okay. So 5, I'll say times 5. Plus, that's pretty evident. It's plus 3 times. So that's times 3. A second number is, what does is equal? Or I just told you. Is means equal, right? Okay, let's go through this. So we have to define the numbers. What variables are we going to use for the numbers? X and Y. So we'll just say X equals, I'll just say number 1 and Y is equal to number 2. It doesn't actually matter. Okay. 5, the sum of 5 times one number. So what am I writing for 5 times one number? 5x plus 3 times a second number, 3y. So plus 3y is 8, equals 8. Okay, does that make sense? 5 times one number, 5x, plus 3 times the other number, 3y, is 8. Boom, done. Second sentence, the sum. So we're doing a sum again. 3 times the first number, 3x, plus 5 times the second number, plus 5y, is 24. Okay, now we're done with all the words. Now we're just solving the x's and the y's. So, what are we going to do here? Sorry? Okay, so are we doing elimination? I would do elimination. So, are we eliminating the x's or the y's? What are we doing? X's? Okay. Let's eliminate the x's. So, what do I have to multiply the top one by? Top one gets multiplied by 3 times 3. And that's going to give me, yeah, 15x plus 9y. 3 times 8 is 24. And then the bottom we're multiplying by 5, which will give us 15x, 25y. What's 24 times 5? What's 5 times 2? 120. Good job. Whoa. There we go. Okay. 120. All right. Now what do we do? Add, subtract, multiply, divide. What are we doing? Subtract them. So 15x minus 15x is no more x's. 9y minus 25y. Minus 16y. 24 minus 120. Negative what?
Negative 10. Wait. Negative 96.
Negative 96.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Okay, final step.
Divide by negative 6.
So y is equal to 6. How do I find x? Pop it into one of the other equations. I'll just put it into this one. (24 minus 30 is negative 6. Therefore, x is equal to -2. So -2 and 6 are your numbers. Are we okay with that? The hardest part about this is translating the words into the equations. Okay? Okay. Another one. I'm going to need you to copy down that question now, please. So, we win 26 medals at the 2010 Olympics, including 7 silver. The number of gold medals was 4 more than twice the number of bronze. How many gold and bronze did we win? All right. We won 26 medals. How do you figure out what are the 3 types of medals? Okay, so that means they tell us the number of silver, right? We know that silver is 7. What? No, it's not pointless. All right, so we're going to say X equals number of gold medals and Y is equal to the number of bronze. Because that's what we're trying to figure out. We want to know how many gold and how many bronze. So we define those as X and Y. It doesn't matter what you call X and Y. Okay, the total number of medals we win is 26. So how do you get that number? Oh, you're close. That's bronze and gold equals 26. What are you forgetting? We won 7 silver, right? So the total number of medals is X plus 7 plus Y. Well, this is gold, this is silver, and this is bronze. If I ask for the total number of medals and you only add the gold and the bronze, that assumes you didn't win any silver. Oh, I don't care about the order.
When's our next test?
Adding. No, stop. Okay, so what do I do to rearrange this? Because I don't want this here. Move the 7 over. So we're just to clean that up. So X plus Y. 26 minus 7 is? Okay, there's one equation. All right. Actually, I don't want to circle that. Okay. Now the second sentence. The number of gold medals was 4 more. What does 4 more mean? Plus 4. Then twice the number of bronze. 2Y, because the bronze is Y. So that's going to be 2Y. So, and gold medals was is the same as is. Okay? So that means equals. Okay? So we're going to say, I'll write it here. The number of gold medals, actually, I'm going to write it off to the side because we're going to rearrange it. The number of gold medals, X is gold, right? The number of gold medals was or is, doesn't matter, equals 4 more. What am I writing? You're going to write 4 plus, but yeah, it's essentially plus 4. 4 plus
7
twice the number of bronze, 2Y.
Oh, wow.
Okay, does that make sense? All right. Do we have 2 equations? We got this one and we got this one. Okay. Now, I didn't line them up on purpose. You can use elimination if you want.
Not really matter.
It doesn't matter. But the way this is written is kind of yelling at you to use substitution because it's already X equals, right? So you can just take, if I say X is equal to this, I can just put that in for X. Because your whole goal is to make one equation with just one variable. So I'm going to use substitution on this one. So this goes right there. And I get 4 plus 2Y plus Y is equal to 19. What's 2Y plus Y?
Y squared.
3y. How do I solve for y? Don't divide it yet. You gotta get it by itself, so you're gonna subtract 4 from each side. And now, once you have just y there, 3y, how do you get rid of the 3? So y is equal to 5. So we won 5 bronze medals. So how do we figure out how many golds we got? So you can plug it into any equation. I would probably just put it right in that one.
Would it work if we did it with elimination?
Yeah, you get the same answer. 4 plus 2 times y, which is 5. 4 plus 10. So we won 14 gold medals. So we got 14 gold, 7 silver, 5 bronze. All right. I got one last type of equation to show you. And there it is right there.
Oh,
Copy that question. Josie has a piggy bank.
I know who you said. Wait. I'm just rich.
With your piggy bank.
I do have a piggy bank.
Do you have 2 piggy banks though?
I swear I was.
Okay. The total value is 23.25 and she has 300 coins total. How many of each does she have? So the first thing we have to figure out is what's X and what's Y? What are we trying to figure out? How many nickels and how many dimes do we have? So we're going to say, what do you want to say? Okay, so Y equals the number of nickels and X is going to be, come on. Okay, so you have 300 coins total. So what's the equation for that? X plus Y equals 300. Because X is the number of dimes, Y is the number of nickels. So X plus Y.
Where's that thing by the 23?
It's 300.
Oh, alright.
Okay, so it's 300 coins, you clown show.
300 coins.
All right, the total value is $23.25. So this is when you have a money problem, which you will have, you have to write a value equation. I call this a total coin or dollar bill equation. This is the total number. But we need a value equation. What's the total value? 23.25. So the value equation has to equal the total value. Okay? So it has to equal that. For money problems, it's the same thing all the time. X and Y represent the number of dimes. If I have 5 dimes, how much money do I have?
25 cents. Oh, 50 cents.
Aren't dimes like tens or
Do
something?
we not know what money is?
No,
Fifty.
it's dime to 10.
No, 10 cents?
50.
Is
A dime is 10 cents.
50.
So if you have 5 dimes, you have
50 cents.
50 cents. If you have 10 dimes, you have
$1.
Oh my gosh. Like, that's what
$1, 100 cents. Okay? How did you do that? You multiply them by the value. Okay? So, a dime is worth 10 cents. So if I take X as the number of dimes and I go, okay, it's cents, remember. What is 10 cents as a dollar? 0.1, exactly. So if we go 0.1 times the number of dimes plus, what's a nickel worth? 5 cents. 0.05 times the number of nickels, and I add those together, I will get 23.25. Okay? Okay, that's your value equation. So you need a total equation, you need a value equation. Now we can solve this. You have a choice, okay? If you have decimals, you can clear all decimals here by multiplying through by 100, right? Because that works to 2 decimal places here. Or I would just use substitution because you can easily solve for these. Okay? I'm going to do it with substitution. So, here we go. What variable do you want to solve for? X or Y? X? I heard X first. So, I go down here. X is equal to 300 minus Y. Where does that go now? It's going to go into the other equation, right? For X, it's going to go right. Come on. It's going to go right there. So I'm going to write 0.1 times X. But I'm not going to put X. I'm going to put 300 minus Y plus 0.05Y, 23.25. Okay, all I did was solve for X and then replace the X in the equation with it written in terms of Y. Now we have an equation that has nothing but Y's in it, so we can solve this. But we got to multiply and clear out the brackets. So 0.1 gets multiplied in there. What's 0.1 times 300? It's 30. My calculator. All right, all I did was multiply that in, okay? Is everybody okay with that step? Why? All we did was multiply the 0.1 into the brackets, that's it. Okay, now you got to collect your like terms, which is Josie, stop it. Oh my gosh. These two are like terms. Negative 0.1 plus 0.05. What is that? I'm not going to do it. You guys have to do it. Hmm? 0.4. Why are you getting 0.04?
0.15. 0.15. 0.15. It's 0.15. I added them together.
Negative? Oh, it's negative.
It's negative.
Negative 0.05.
0.
If you go 0.1 negative plus 0.5, you're going to get negative 0.05. All right. Now what? Minus what? 30? Okay. So minus 30. Just use your calculator. Hello? Yes. Right now? That's okay. All right. All right. Back. Griff. You know where you're going? Okay. Okay, so I get negative 0.05 is equal to negative 6.75. Final step. Divide by what? negative 0.05. The negatives have to cancel because the y represents the number of nickels or whatever it is. So you can't have a negative number of nickels. So you're going to divide by negative 0.05. And you get y is equal to 135. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with this pen?
Oh, because.
All right. So I get y is equal to 135, which represents what is y? That's the number of nickels. How do I get the number of dimes? Yep, I would just plug it into this one right here. That'll make it way easier. So this one, x is equal to 300 minus y. Minus 135. 165. So you have 165 dimes and 135 nickels.
It's a lot of money.
It's $23. That is a 5.
The bottom one just looks like.
That's a 5. Well, I'm telling you it's a 5. All right. Okay, so your whole goal when you're doing these, people, is 1, make 2 equations. You have to make 2 equations, all right? Each sentence is essentially an equation. If it's a money problem, you will have a total equation that gives you the number of bills, but you also need a value equation that factors in the amount of each bill or coin. Okay?
Must at least have two, or
You have to have 2. Yeah.
can there be more than two?
There can be, but you're not going to see that in this class. That's higher math. This is the same type of equation. You have a total number of metals equation, and then you sort of have, they give you some other information. So you convert this sentence. It's like x equals 4 more than twice the number. So you have to make 2 equations. Once you have the 2 equations, you just solve them using any method you want to. Substitution or elimination. I don't care. Okay? I'm going to give you a sheet